Hello friend, once again to my YouTube channel. If you are new, please kindly note that you are connected to Global HSC Training Academy. In this channel, we talk everything about health safety. So today, I would like you to stay tuned till the end because I have a very special gift for everyone watching. So today we are going to be looking at basic fire safety and emergency evacuation. Yes, this has always been one of the things that most persons in organization have not come to a realization on the importance of having that knowledge. Okay, so before I continue, I would like to also remind us that we are into training, certification, and consultation. So you can always reach us anytime you desire. Okay, so let's begin on today's training. Yes, here, like I said, we are looking at basic fire safety and evacuation. Now, presentation will be discussing what fire is all about. Also look at types of fire. We are going to be discussing the firefighting equipment, firefighting method, fire prevention and fire protection, fire alarm system, emergency evacuation, and general requirements. So those are part of what we are going to do. Okay, so if you are asked a question today, what is fire? Good. I want to believe that you can always respond what fire is about. But then, looking at the screen, fire is a chemical reaction of three combustion or three components. Yes. Some school of thought also consider fire to be a chemical reaction of three pyramids. All depends on how you define it. But fire cannot happen without heat, fuel, and oxygen. Okay. Now, the fire triangle, as you can see here, is considered as a combustion triangle, which is a sample of model for understanding the necessary ingredient for fire to occur. So for fire tetrahedron, so we have what we call fire tetrahedron, which can be described as fire pyramid earlier said, which is solid having four phases. So we have the oxygen, the fuel, the heat, and then the chemical reaction. This is the only area that explains the fire to be of four phases, and it is the chain reaction that makes it the fire makes it to be of four phases. Take notes. The spread of fire can be direct and also it can be based on condition. In the direct spread of fire, they are considered as the early stage fire spread amongst entirely by contact of flame to combustible objects, where the conduction will be transferred of heat through solid materials. Okay, then also we have convection. All right, so the convection is transferred of heat by air movement. Hot air rises due to reduced density. Then we have radiation. Again, the fire is spread through radiation, and that is done based on heat transferred from one surface to another across the space. For stages of fire, we have incipient or ignition. We also have growth. We have fully developed, and then also we have decay. All right. So take note of the stages of fire. So you can simply explain when a fire is at the incipient or ignition. So the incipient stage is considered as that point when you discover that fire is actually starting. So it's starting on a gradual note. It has not escalated to, to a larger extent. So that can easily be controlled at that point. Can simply be controlled. But at the point of growth, it means that it is outrightly increasing. to the level where it may not be controlled at any point. When it goes to fully developed, at that point the basic thing to do is just to give room for it to burn, and the other level will be the decay, so it has completely destroyed things. Please take note of this. The common causes of fire, we have cooking equipment, heating equipment, electrical appliances, smoking till power storage. So those are the common causes. So at this point we have come to end of chapter 1. Again, don't forget to connect and we continue at the other end. Alright, so classes of fire, that will be from the beginning of part 2. Please take notes. So we have the following classes: class A, B, C, D, and K. So for each of the classes, you can see for class A is a combustible solid like wood, paper, plastic, etc. And also flammable liquid and gases like LPG, diesel, and the likes, and that is classes B. And you can see that of class C, D, and K. These are the typical classes of fire. Now, when fighting fire, what are those equipment that you are expected to use in fighting fire? Because those equipment used in fighting fire will enable you to fight the fire successfully. So we simply look at firefighting equipment. Yes, so we have them as fire beater, we have fire bucket, we have fire blanket, we have fire extinguisher, we have fire boil, we have fire hose reel, we have fire hydrant, and then also we have fire sprinkler. So any of these firefighting equipment you desire to make use of, you also need to understand how they are to be used, so you will not use them wrongly. So a simple tool for fighting fire consists of the piece of rubber at the end of a pole, as you can see on the screen. Then also for buckets, this is also an example of it. We move to the next one, which is fire blankets. So this is a sheet of flexible material, typically woven, yes, like fiberglass, used to smoother a fire in an emergency. We also have the fireball. So you can see it's a round shaped fire extinguisher that it is self-activated. Yeah, so once you have something like that, it has to be properly positioned in the right place, where when it activates, it can easily put out the fire. We have sprinkler. Yes, sprinklers are usually fixed up the on top of the roof, yeah, on the right position to ensure an automatic extinguishing system that ensure that fire goes out in that environment. Then the extinguisher, of course, this is the most popular part of all firefighting equipment we have out there. Okay, so we also have types of the extinguishers according to the types of fire. So you are required to buy the right type of fire extinguisher. So we also, but in buying the right type of fire extinguisher, it also based on the kind of operation that is being executed in that your environment. Okay, so anytime you go to market, select the right fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher operate procedure. You will not always forget this particular method called pass. Alright, so the first later is to pull the safety pin. Please take note of this. Look at the screen, you're going to see it. So you pull the safety pin, then aim the target, squeeze left and right, and then also you squeeze the handle to trigger the gas out, and then also you sweep the side by side, left and right. Now Fighting fire equipment, still there are tips we need to always understand when we are making use of extinguisher. So check for your own safety before starting to ensure and extinguish a fire. Yes, your safety is very important, because it is someone who is safe that can be able to extinguish fire. Also assess the fire. Only a small fire should be fought using a fire extinguisher. Again, ensure that it is the fire you can fight that you are to use the fire extinguisher on. Select the right type of fire extinguisher. Remember the simple acronym, very important: pass, pull, aim, squeeze and sweep. Always try to work in pair for safety. Yes, don't work alone. Then target the base of the fire, not the flame. So the base, that part of the fire, and not the flame, because you end up blowing more breeze if you are targeting the flame. If fire extinguished at first sight, stay ready for reignition. Yes, it usually occur when you put out the fire immediately. The heat, if the fire the fire combination of the heat, the fuel and the oxygen has not been removed, it will still reignite. So you need to stand by ready to extinguish the fire again when you discover that it is starting again. Then keep minimum distance, that is between 8 to 10 feet distance from fighting fire during the fire extinguisher. So you are not required to go very close to it. The next firefighting equipment is fire hydrant. So look at the color code and classes. So you can see that fire hydrant does not just have one particular color. Okay, so they have various colors, and then also they have of various classes. For the sprinkler types and color, so we have open sprinkler, we have closed sprinkler. Yes, the sprinkler that is not equipped with actuator, alright, so we have the actuator or heat response element. That is the open fire sprinkler. Why we have the closed sprinkler, and that is equipped with actuator or heat response element. So that's just the difference. So at every point, always be on the lookout of the fire sprinkler, okay, and be able to get the right one based on the operational facility. Now we have the types of hose, that is delivery hose and then also suction hose. We have for delivery hose, we have the percolating, we have the percolating hose, non-percolate, and then also hose heel hose. Then we have soft suction and hard suction when we talk about the suction hose. These are partially embedded, fully embedded as well for suctions. Now, types of hose. Yes, so we have the types of hose, as you can see, all of these hose. Yes, yeah, so we have them as explained earlier on. Alright, so we continue. Fire extinguishing method: starvation, smothering and cooling. So you can always make use of any of these method. Yeah, fire extinguishing method, like we said, starvation is the process of depriving the fire from fuel, e.g. when you remove any of the combustible materials, or you remove the fuel from the fire, you're automatically putting out the fire. Then the smothering, that is the process of depriving the fire of air, that is oxygen needed to sustain the fire, or you are removing the oxygen from the fire. Whichever how you do it, you are automatically smothering the fire. Then in cooling the fire, this is depriving the fire of heat. Yes, so this will absorb heat from the fire or remove the heat from the fire. Now we have the prevention. So how do we prevent fire, which is very, very important? It is a proactive steps taken to reduce fire hazard so that a fire does not have a chance to reignite. Now, fire protection is a reactive approach which minimizes potential damage or loss. So reactive, you are taking necessary steps to ensure that fire does not occur, because if it does, a lot of things will be lost. Yes. In fire prevention, you need to have the following in place, or ensure you carry out the fire safety exercises by preparing the fire safety plan, which must always be approved. Then carry out risk assessment, update it at least every 6 months. Then have a workplace inspection. Please let it done according to the nature of the operations in the environment. This could be done daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly. All depends again on the nature of the operations being executed in that environment. We also have fire safety trainings. Yes, induction and annually fire safety training should be done for all workers or staff. Regular fire drills should be conducted. Preventive maintenance as per requirements should be conducted as well. Then housekeeping management should be done, and material management should also be taken note of. In still fire protection, active protection simply means that the system is detected and extinguished the fire when it is about to escalate and not when it has escalated, right? So this could always be done manually, automatically, depending on the equipment that has been structured in the facility. Then we have passive fire protection. This is system. Passive fire protection is a system that has been designed to help prevent fire from spreading or resisting the initial ignition. Okay, so the difference between the active fire protection and passive fire protection is that smoke and heat. For active fire protection, smoke and heat alarm is required, manual call point is required, fire sprinklers is required, fire extinguishers are ready, fire hydrants, video monitoring and extra must be in place. While passive fire protection will be compartment, fireproofing, fire door, firewall, fire stopper, fire contain, and baffle. So these are the differences between passive fire protection and active fire protection as we continue. The next is fire alarm system. So there are numerous fire alarm systems depending on the operations size or which one you actually desire. So it is a safety appliance that receives information from devices, signals to detectors, and reports fires immediately by ensuring that they monitor their operational integrity. Okay, so we have the types of fire alarms. We have the conventional fire alarms, and then also we have the addressable fire alarm. Okay, so every device on the same cycle would report the same. While for addressable, it indicates the exact location of fire or smoke. So for major organizations that have heavy duty equipment, they are required to have the addressable fire panel. So it can simply tell you where the fire is coming from, and you don't have to be running helter-skelter looking for the direction. For the fire detectors, this is basically a device which can detect a fire and provide a signal to an alarm circuit. So fire detectors are of different types. We have the smoke detectors, we have the heat detectors, and then also we have the flame detectors. right? So these are typical example of the detector. So we have smoke detectors, we have the first one here, and also the heat detector. So you can see the heat detector as it is stated here. Then also we have the flame detector, right? So these are all the flame detector. The manual call point is a device used to initiate an alarm signal. That's a manual call point. While it's also, they operate by means of a simple button press or when glass is broken, revealing a button. Alright, then they can form part of a manual alarm system or an automatic alarm system. All depends on how it is structured. So we have the CP activation, that is manual call point activation, which is typically achieved through the use of a pull station or a call point, which then sounds the evacuation alarm for the relevant building or the zone. Alright, we once again has come to the end of this particular chapter, while we also continue on the next chapter, which is fire evacuation procedure. So if fire happens in a facility, what are those actions that needs to be taken? So we have action on hearing alarm. Don't panic and be calm. Stop any activities immediately and prepare to leave the room. Turn off all ignition sources such as AC equipment, etc. Evacuate the room to nearest safe assembly area. Remain in assembly area until instructed to leave. After all the lamp has been cleared off, then you can continue your work. Assembly area checklist must always be conducted. So all the employee assemble at their designated assembly area. Assembling area for enough far away from the flying glasses and other objects. Now, head count of employee is done and reported to the ERT head. Then that is the emergency right team. Then injured area informed to the ERT team. Then access to emergency vehicles are not hindered, as access must ensure that their access to it, so it can simply if there is need for the use of the vehicles, there will not be a hindrance for it, and most especially when it has to do with saving of lives. Then remain in the group until further notice. Do not re-enter in the building without permission. Alright, then emergency reporting. Of course, you need to call 911 or any other emergency fax that you can always have in your destination. Don't also forget to describe the incident location, describe the nature of the incident, then also report injuries if any. Give your name, badge, number, and contact. Repeat the above information again and stay on the line until further instruction has been given. Now, the raise method, yes, it's called the raise method. The first is to rescue, alert, contain or confine, then extinguish or evacuate. Right. So always make sure you don't forget the raise method. So duties of an ERT. All fire equipment are always in working condition. Any deviation needs to be reported to facilities like security team almost immediately. An ERT should know the location of fire extinguishers and their handling techniques. ERTs to help security and fire team in case of any fire accident or incident. Then ERT needs to ensure that emergency situations are handled peacefully and authoritatively without without any stampede. Now, ERT should know the details of handicapped persons and their workstations and contact details, while evacuation of employees priority to be given to disabled employee, pregnant ladies, and as well visitors. ERT assesses the situation at the scene itself. If situation is not risky and can be controlled without any human safety risk, then control same. In case situation warrants to evacuate the building, stay evacuation with assistance of team members, and simultaneously inform ERT leader or office head for assistance or guidance. Follow the instruction of ERT leader or office head and handle it appropriately. If your clothes are on fire, stop, drop, roll. Don't run. It will make the fire worse. Please take note. Get down onto the floor and then you roll on the floor. Now when you roll on the floor, you are automatically putting out the fire. Take note of this. Alright, so we continue on the next chapter, which is fire safety general requirements. So when we talk about fire safety general requirements, we'll be looking at storage of flammable and combustible materials, which shall be minimum, and incompatible materials, e.g. the flammable and oxidizer, so they shall not be stored together. They shall not be stored together. Then minimum clearance of 0.6 or 2 feet shall be maintained between the ceiling and the top level of any stocked material below. So we have minimum 0.5 or 1.5 feet clearance between top level of stocked materials and sprinkler head. Now temporary wiring shall be installed according to the provision of your NFPA 70. So electrical equipment should be regularly checked. It should be regularly checked, and also the GFCI, that is ground fault circuit interpreters or interrupters, shall be provided where required. Smoking is permitted only in designated smoking area. Now, open fires or open burning of materials are strictly prohibited. Proper bonding or grinding techniques shall be used for any operations, and also don't forget to train and certify fire watch, who should be present at all at the hot area in the work environment. Now, you also ensure monthly inspection of all FACP and fire fighting equipment. Yeah, important things you need to take note of: the CO2 fire extinguisher, which is prohibited to use in confined space. Please take note of this particular one. And also, yes, even as we come to the end of chapter 8, I want to once again say thank you very much for connecting, and I look forward to the next video with you. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you need further training on this, don't forget the basic firefighting and prevention training can always be provided to you as an individual or as an organization. Alright, so be on the lookout on the next training. So here, remember to share, remember to subscribe, so you'll be kept updated on the next thing. Bye.